Welcome to Marketing is Broken, the weekly series where we show you what's wrong with marketing and how to fix it. Let's get into today's top story. 55% of CMOs have identified increasing brand awareness as their number one objective for 2018. In a study by Amobano, hey, I said it right. I've been practicing that like my dad had to practice Obama when he first heard about him. All right, so in the Amobano study published on Marketing Week, increasing brand awareness is the number one most important thing for CMOs. Number 2 and number 3 on the list, developing customer relationships and developing brand position. The top 3 marketing objectives of 2018 all focus on building relationships and building brand. So that's going to be really, really important. Also from the study, 61% report that marketing's role has increased in importance in the business in the last 2 years, which comes with an entirely different set of problems. So as CMOs are becoming more cross-functional in the organization, in the boardroom, and even in the C-suite, they're seeing business strategy, commercial impact, brand vision. These are some of the bigger challenges that they're having as these things have to make it further, as business strategy has to work in marketing and as brand vision has to work in the rest of the company. You're starting to see, as the CMO's role gets more important, these bigger scope of challenges and problems that are having, or that we are having as an industry. The best anecdote from this entire study, make friends with the CEO, because when you have the ear and the support of your leaders, everything is so much easier. And that's this week's top story in marketing. All right, so what's broken this week? Today's topic is all about measuring brand awareness. We just learned that raising brand awareness is the number one objective in 2018, and it's really no surprise. Gaining awareness in the early part of the buying cycle is critical because most consumers will buy from one of the top 3 brands in their initial consideration set. If you don't show up in that initial consideration set, it's going to be hard to convert people down the road. But how do you define brand awareness? How do you measure it? And most importantly, how do you grow it? This thing that we're all trying to do. Like, let's break this down. Let's talk about it. Turns out, few of us in marketing actually know how to answer these questions. And if you're looking for agency solutions, they're prohibitively expensive. On the technology side, you'd have a better time trying to find Waldo than a brand analytics platform on the 2018 marketing technology landscape supergraphic. All right, so consider this. All right, 9% of our marketing budgets are allocated towards analytics tools on average, according to Gartner. And it is the most of any marketing function and has risen from the fourth most important function in 2016, 2017. So we're putting a lot of money, a lot of our marketing budgets into analytics already. But let's say you have $1 million marketing budget for the year, just for round numbers. That's $92,000 per, with the company of $1 million marketing budget. And what is that going to get you? You're going to get a free Google Analytics account for sure. You're going to get a web analyst who can help you with Tag Manager and Google Analytics and that type of stuff. And then maybe a few other tools like Screaming Frog or Meltwater or something that helps you kind of look at other aspects of your analytics other than just what's hitting your website. Maybe social media, that type of thing. So now, if you wanted to measure brand awareness on top of that, you're looking at probably at least $20,000 for a brand lift study or some service like Nielsen, Ipsos, or YouGov. And it's just not going to fit in to how we need to allocate our marketing budgets. And that is a real shame. So what happens? We sacrifice, right? We'll use maybe all sorts of different proxies or close enoughs when we want to measure our brand awareness. If you actually Google how to measure brand awareness, right now you'll get an example like this, a social media activity or a listener, right? You may also get search marketers. They may be looking at their direct traffic, or maybe they'll look at their branded traffic, both in Google Search Console and in AdWords. And then maybe if you're on the PR side, you're measuring media coverage and the number of mentions or links or something like that. That is all that we have for brand awareness. And they're important things to measure in their own right, but it's not brand awareness. And to say that they are, it's like cheap parlor tricks that are proxies for some really important information. And that's part of the problem with marketing today, because as marketers, when we try to take these proxies into boardrooms, we come across like kids trying to serve their parents like imaginary tea and biscuits, and they're supposed to play along. They know that this isn't brand awareness. We know it's not brand awareness, and yet they've asked us for brand awareness, and this is what we bring them. So this is where things have got to change. What do you do? How do you fix it? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you or we or all of us should be marketing or measuring brand awareness the right way. So there's ways to do this. There's standards out there. If you look back all the way back to the Don Draper days of marketing, there have been two forms of awareness that we should all try to embrace as the standard. The first is aided awareness, and this is also known as recognition. You provide a list of brands to a consumer, and you say, when it comes to brands in this space, or when it comes to this good or service, which brands do you recognize, or which brands do you know, and have them pick or select from a list of brands. That is the textbook standard way to calculate aided awareness. The other is unaided awareness, and you'll also hear this referred to as recall. This is when you ask people what brands or when it comes to brands in this space, what products or service have you heard of? Or when it comes to these types of goods, which brands come to mind? And you provide an open-ended field for a consumer to list all of the brands that they know. That's called recall or unaided awareness. And ultimately, those are the two different ways to do it. And if you can find some consumers, either through surveying tools or panels or all sorts of different methods, and then the next question is, well, how many people do I need to ask? Well, most people will tell you between 250, 400. That's a good enough number to run in terms of the number of consumers to ask these questions to get a statistically or highly directional or statistically significant result in that. And then simply ask those two questions, 400 different consumers, obviously different groups each time you do it, but ask them yearly, biannually, or quarterly, and there you've got a consistent way to measure brand awareness. All right, so there you have it. That's how you can fix marketing this week. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Marketing is Broken, brought to you by Brandish Insights, the world's first brand analytics platform. We're like Google Analytics for brands. Catch this weekly show by subscribing to our YouTube channel or by visiting brandishinsights.com to learn more.